Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be doing a review of the new Yves Saint Laurent All Hours foundation. This foundation I bought when it was only available for VIB and VIB Rouge members on the Sephora website, so I don't believe it's in stores quite yet. They might have just released it, I'm not sure, but I'll definitely put a link in the description box, not an affiliate link, just a link, so you can check out this foundation to see if it is in stores yet. Anyways, so I have actually tested out this foundation before filming this video, so this is not a first impressions. I have information for you in terms of the longevity and what I overall think about it, but I do want to go ahead and show you how the foundation looks on my skin. I don't have anything on my face except for a hydrating primer just to ensure that the best conditions are met for this foundation to work. This foundation does have a matching primer for it, but at the time of purchase it wasn't available for me to get it along with this, so unfortunately I won't be able to test those two things out at the same time. First thing I want to talk about with this foundation is that it's kind of difficult to correctly match your skin tone. At least in my case it was. They have a chart on the website, on the Sephora website, that has recommendations for what type of skin tone you have. So in terms of whether you have a neutral, a warm, or a cool undertone. And they base it on what color your veins are, or how they look. So for example, if you have more like green veins, then you have a warm undertone. If you have more blue veins, you have a cool undertone. And there's, you know, neutral is something in the middle between those two colors. I ended up picking warm beige, which is supposed to be a light golden undertone to the skin. So a warm undertone that's still light but has a goldenness to it. I want to go ahead and put a stripe of the foundation on my face so you can see how this foundation color matches to my skin. When I first put it on my finger, it kind of looks like it's going to be a little bit too light. And then when you first put it on the face, it does look a tad light. But if you leave it on for a little bit, you'll see that it starts turning really orange. I don't know if you can kind of tell. I'll put another little stripe here as well. It still looks a little bit too light for me, I think, depending on the lighting, but hopefully you guys will see what I'm talking about. This thing turns really, really orange. So I'm not so sure how much you can tell on camera, especially with all of the lights I have on, but this has definitely changed colors to a tone that's more orange, as I said. I'm gonna put a fresh stripe on my skin to see if maybe you can tell the difference a little bit better. So this is a fresh stripe, and this is what it looks like after a couple seconds of wear. So this is what it originally looks like, which is a little bit too light, and this is after like a minute or two of wear. So you can tell that this color oxidates on your skin, which means that it reacts with the oxygen in the air and it turns a different color. So in terms of color matching, this can be a problem because if you're expecting it to be this light, which you could already tell is turning more orange, it's not gonna actually end up looking that light on your face. So I went ahead and wiped off the stripes because I want to give a real review because, you know, it'll blend in. It's not gonna look as crazy once I blend it into my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation to this half of my face so you can compare it with the right half. Okay, so here it is applied to the left half of my face. Hopefully you can tell that this is definitely a full coverage foundation. I didn't have to do a second layer to get, you know, the full coverage effect because a lot of foundations will state their full coverage and then you have to do 1 to 2 to 3 layers to actually get the full coverage. So I feel like this is definitely proves the claim that it's a full coverage foundation. You can see, hopefully you could tell like when I was putting on the foundation that this little blemishes I have here were pretty much covered up. I think that you can still see a little hint of pink from this little blemish, but not something I couldn't just tap a little bit more of the product in and it would be gone. You know, I love the foundation in terms of how it looks, like how it feels on the face, and I'm not talking about the color in terms of how it looks, I'm talking about how the consistency of the product is essentially. So you can see that my face still has a glow to it. It still looks like a natural texture on my face. It doesn't look like a mask. you can see that there's still a little bit of a sheen left on my face. And even though it is full coverage, it doesn't give you that kind of powdery mask-like look. It does have a scent to it. It smells floral. So for those of you that are allergic to scents in makeup, this would not be a good product for you. It's not an overwhelming scent. I mean, I smell it and I think it smells nice, but it's not like a light scent either. So that might bother you if you're sensitive to that. In terms of it getting really orange on my face, you can't really tell so much right now because of the lights I have on, but I think in daylight you can kind of tell it's a little bit more orange than I personally am. I still haven't decided whether it's worth returning this product over that because I do really like the coverage. So I really do enjoy this product overall, except for I feel like I have foundations that match me a little bit better in terms of the tone. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the right half of my face so you can just see what it's gonna look like all together. So I want you to see that it hasn't perfectly covered this blemish, although with other full coverage foundations I've tried, it doesn't even look this covered. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more, just a teeny bit more of the product on my finger and just tap it over to see what happens. So it's definitely looking better for sure. Okay, so this is one layer of the foundation on. I'm gonna go ahead and apply almost like a whole second layer so you guys can see how much more coverage the foundation gives. So this is what my skin looks like with pretty much like 2 layers of this foundation. I don't have perfect skin by any means. I have a lot of blemishes. I have a lot of hyperpigmentation and post-acne marks. So, you know, I'm not gonna look flawless in any pretty much foundation that I've ever used. Like I can look a lot better, almost flawless, but I'm never gonna look like a model in terms of using this foundation, which I think many of you can also relate. But I do appreciate how this foundation definitely makes my skin look a little bit more smooth. I feel like my pores look a little bit more diminished with this foundation on. It's a very youthful looking foundation, and I think this would be great for those of you who also have dry skin because this is supposedly a matte finish foundation, but it doesn't look that crazy matte. It has like, not dewiness, but a little bit of a glow to it. It doesn't leave my skin looking flat. So I think this would be perfectly fine for dry skin types. I think it would be fine for combo and oily as well because it does keep you looking, you know, together during the day. I did test this out during the day where I was out all day and in the hot sun. I live in Florida. Humidity was crazy because it had been raining all week. And I came home by the end of the day and only my chin was a little bit shiny and a little bit on my forehead, just a little bit. I have kind of a normal to slightly oily skin type. I used to be super oily back in the day, and now my skin has kind of calmed down and dried up a little bit. Not that my skin is dry at all, but it's just not as oily as it used to be when I was very young. But anyways, the foundation ended up looking very well till the end of the day where it looked like I had just pretty much applied it like not that long ago. So it's definitely lives up to the claim that it's a very long wearing foundation. I'm actually gonna go ahead and read to you what it says on the box because I didn't do that earlier. The first night and day wear foundation by Yves Saint Laurent own the night and day with a flawless matte complexion which stays put all hours. Up to 24-hour wear, this innovative formula is transfer-free with no compromise on comfort. No need to touch up even through non-stop activity. Full coverage. A rich level of fine pigments create a flawless, even coverage without a mask-like effect. Matte shine control throughout the day. This oil-free formula keeps complexion shine-free and reduces the appearance of pores. Enriched with skincare complex and sunscreen, this foundation helps protect skin against external aggressions, leaving it fresh, smooth, suitable for all skin types, including sensitive skin. Now it does say that it's dermatologically tested and I can't even say that word. I think you know what it means. So yeah, like I said, I think this would be good for pretty much any skin type. I don't agree that it's good for every skin because this does have a fragrance, and most people that have allergies to makeup products is because they're allergic to the fragrance, so I don't know what they're going with that. I also don't understand why they added a sunscreen to this foundation, because if this is supposed to be a flawless finish, that's something that you would wear tonight and you will take flash photography, sunscreen reacts to flash photography. So you're gonna get a mask-like effect in your pictures. So unless you're using a chemical type sunscreen, you are gonna get that flashback. I'm gonna go ahead and test it on my own, and I'll put in the description box what I think about the flashback effect, because I can't do it right now, but I will put that information in the description box. So unless you're using a chemical type sunscreen, you are gonna get that flashback. I'm gonna go ahead and test it on my own, and I'll put in the description box what I think about the flashback effect, because I can't do it right now, but I will put that information in the description box. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup, and I'm gonna come back with my final thoughts about the product. Okay, so I already put the rest of my makeup on, and I have to say that I still really enjoy how this foundation looks, and the more I look at it, the more I realize that it doesn't look that orange on my face, at least with everything pulled together. I don't think it's that crazy noticeable, at least in indoor lighting. I know when I tested this out the other day, when I saw myself in the car mirror, I thought it did look a little orange, but I have to say that it does look pretty good right now, so I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, do you think that this is a good color match for me? Should I return this and try a different color? Please tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd really appreciate some feedback. This has to be probably the most expensive foundation I've ever owned. I don't remember the exact price, but I do believe it was at least $50. And that is a lot of money to spend on a foundation. So I wanted to talk about two other options that you could try instead of this foundation and how they compare against this one. A foundation that everybody knows about and I've been using for several years is the Kat Von D foundation, and this one is awesome. Has the same full coverage of this foundation, except that this can look a little bit mask-like. So I don't think that this is good for dry skin types. I think it's pretty good for oily to combination skin types. And I love the full coverage effect, very long wearing foundation. This is also supposed to be transfer proof. So in terms of that aspect, these are very similar, except for this I feel is good for all skin types. This I think is only good for dry skin types. Another foundation I think is a really good contender is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. This is very similar to the Yves Saint Laurent in terms of like how it looks on the face, how it looks still youthful and kind of glowy but not super glowy, and still suitable for dry skin. But the Laura Mercier, although it says it's supposed to be a full coverage foundation, I think that this is a medium coverage foundation that you can build up to a full coverage foundation. And the Yves Saint Laurent is already starting off a full coverage foundation without having to really build it up too much. These two foundations are less expensive and more affordable than the Yves Saint Laurent. I think it really boils down to the brand name. YSL can sell their products at a higher price point because you're paying for that luxury brand. It has that floral scent, it has, you know, the beautiful packaging, you know, the frosted glass, it feels heavy, it feels, you know, substantial. These feel a little bit lighter than the Yves Saint Laurent. But interestingly enough, as I look at the box, the Yves Saint Laurent foundation is 0.84 fluid ounces. a normal foundation, your average foundation will be 1 fluid ounce, which the Laura Mercier is, as well as the Kat Von D. So you're paying more and you're getting less. But the Kat Von D does not have any sunscreen, and neither does the Laura Mercier. So if you're looking for something that for sure will not give you any flashback in flash photography, then you probably don't want to get this, because more than likely it's going to happen because it has sunscreen in it. And although the Kat Von D is really awesome, I think it's, you know, just a great overall foundation, it can look a little mask-like. So a lot of times I end up mixing this with my Urban Decay Naked Skin foundation, because it gives a little bit more dewiness to this foundation, so it looks more natural looking. So I don't know, I end up having to use 2 products when I usually use this foundation, so it ends up probably being a little bit more than the Yves Saint Laurent. So do I think this is a must-have foundation, like you need to go out and buy this right now? I don't think so. I think it's a good foundation, and I think that it looks really nice on my skin, but I think for some of you, you might be a little bit frustrated with trying to color match. Maybe I'm more of a neutral skin tone, and that's why it looks so orange on me. But I've always been warm in everything I've ever picked in the past, so it's a little bit confusing why this ended up, you know, oxidating on my skin and looking more orange. Especially for those of you on a budget, I think that there's probably a lot better foundations out there for cheaper. I hear that the Wet n Wild foundation and the Milani foundation are both really good options for people who are on a budget. But for those of you that just love luxurious brand foundations, I think this one is really good, but it has a few minor issues, which is the scent and that it oxidizes. But overall, I do believe that most of the claims that this foundation makes are true, that it does blur pores, that it is super long wearing, especially in humid climates, that it is a matte, shine-free finish. And of course it does protect the skin because you do have that SPF factor to it. Overall, I would give this foundation a solid A-. The minus because it oxidizes, but maybe that's just my skin. Maybe it doesn't do that on other people's. And an A period because I think it's just a good product and it does look really beautiful on my skin. Please let me know in the comment section down below if you're gonna purchase this or if you think it's a dud. I really would love to know your opinions. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if you like videos like this, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can see more content and more content from me and more reviews of new and up and coming beauty products. Thank you so much for liking my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.